Hey, Carlos. I'm calling the dude. What? You're tripping on me again, man.
What?
Put 2 more Buddha heads on a mail carrier before me, man.
Again?
Got me waiting so it melts these fucking Mexicans.
Chicago, man. Why are you talking about Mexicans? I'll kick your ass.
Tell you what, man. Better quit smoking that shit at lunchtime, all right?
We got our own country, eh?
Yeah? Motherfucker, y'all keep sneaking out.
See, this funny, right?
Arriba, arriba, este.
Got thrown in a basketball plane.
Y'all think it's crazy.
Department of Homeland Security toured the old Terrell Middle School, considering it to possibly be a holding location for an unknown number of illegal immigrant children. No decision has been made yet for this location, but one resident who said her kids have gone without nothing, have had nothing for years, she says she is furious.
It's not right. Now billions of dollars want to be borrowed from the White House to help feed and house them. What the kids here in our country? Not just in this neighborhood, but in our country. All these kids, really? Why can't they go back? I'm sorry that the parents are in poor living conditions or surroundings or whatever's going on out there. I don't care. I care about what's going on right here in my own backyard, my neighborhood. Am I the only one in this community that's out here that watches the news this morning? Oh my God. I feel alone right now in this, and I'm very saddened by it.
The black elected officials refuse to address the problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good. They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody, I also want to look out for my race. I'm a black American. I've never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from. The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of, in other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir, it's the numbers. They come here in the numbers, they build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society. Economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic gang members who recently arrived here because of the numbers. My answer to you, sir, would be we don't need any new laws. Enforce the ones we got.
Documented illegal immigrants who have been assigned to the position of commissioner. The Huntington Park City Council is being paid with taxpayers' money to do a job within rules and regulations. According to your board behind you, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. I want to paraphrase that and say, where there is no law, the people perish. In the U.S., we have one rule of law. I also want to talk about the 14th Amendment, which was added to the Constitution in regards to blacks being given birthright citizenship because blacks helped build this country, including the White House twice. Please do not tarnish the name of black slaves by comparing them to your fight. There's no comparison, none. Black slaves did not break into this country, okay? They were brought here against their will. Also, black slaves are not immigrants. Immigrants are people with a choice. They come here by choice. Black slaves didn't have a choice. That's offensive to me because I'm a descendant of a black slave. And trust me, Ancestry.com's work, and I can trace my people back from when they landed here on the boat. I know the village where my people came from in Africa. Okay? So please, do not try to get away with using that. That's very offensive. This country has been good to illegal immigrants. You have been given jobs, houses, tax money, free tax money, welfare, Social Security. They open a business for you guys, etc. I don't know of any illegal aliens who have been hung from a tree. I don't know any of them illegal aliens who have dogs been sick on. So that's very offensive for you to sit up here and allow these people to say that and get away with it, thinking people are going to feel sorry for them. That's very offensive. Okay? Do the right thing. My people get 3 strikes. I have a nephew in jail now, 22 years for something he didn't do. My people commit a crime, they go to jail. Your people commit a crime, they get amnesty. It is wrong. It's called apartheid, and we're not going to have it. We're not going to have a set of laws for you people and a set of laws for us. And if you can't follow the law, talking about parish, your job needs to perish. You get paid with taxpayers' money, and you're misappropriating taxpayers' money when you pick up your tax.
The group that is most isolated, most affected by it, and the evidence that we adduced before the Commission shows that among those groups are Black Americans. This year, again, as I said, we'll be examining that, but one of our most recent hearings was on the effect of illegal immigration on Black wage and employment levels, and the evidence that we gathered shows that unequivocally the wage and employment levels of Black Americans are disproportionately adversely affected by illegal immigration, particularly when it pertains to the effect on Black males. It should be noted, I think, that the witnesses that appear before the Commission were experts and scholars on immigration that spanned the ideological spectrum. And while they may have disagreed with respect to policy and maybe matters of degree, every single witness before the Commission agreed that illegal immigration has a decidedly negative impact on the wage and employment levels of Black Americans, particularly Black males. And the evidence shows that the reason for this is actually pretty basic. Black Americans, especially Black males, are disproportionately concentrated in the low-skill labor market and are disproportionately more likely to have no more than a high school diploma. Likewise, illegal immigrants, disproportionately concentrated in the low-skilled labor market, disproportionately more likely to have low levels of academic achievement, and these two groups compete with one another in the low-skilled labor market. The competition is often most fierce in those industries in which Blacks have traditionally and historically had high concentrations of employment, such as hospitality, service, construction, agriculture, and Blacks very often lose out in this competition to illegal immigrants for a variety of reasons that are self-evident. Certain employers prefer to hire illegal immigrants. As Professor Vernon Briggs of Cornell School of Industrial and Labor Relations noted, it's not because low-skilled American workers, regardless of race, are unwilling to perform such jobs. It's that they're unwilling to do such jobs at the cut-rate wages and sometimes substandard working conditions tendered to illegal immigrants, a cohort which is unlikely, highly unlikely, to then go and complain about those conditions to OSHA, EEOC, or the Wage and Hour Division of the Department of Labor. And we see that this competition is most pronounced in large metropolitan areas. The effect, the deleterious effect of illegal immigration on the low-skilled American worker is most severe during the current economic stagnant times. Since the beginning of the 2008 recession, there has been an increase of 2 million working-age Blacks in the population. However, during the same period of time, the number of Blacks currently in the workforce was also 2 million less, so that there's been no net increase in the number of employed Blacks, despite a substantial increase in the Black population. And what's curious about that, though, is during the same period of time, 4.4 million more foreign-born workers were employed in the United States. And this has substantial negative sociological implications also. Unemployment is linked to higher incarceration rates. Both are linked to lower levels of family formation. Indeed, research shows that immigration accounts for 40% of the 18-point percentage decline in black employment levels in the last several years. An 18-point decline is hundreds of thousands of blacks without jobs. In addition to depressing black employment levels, the evidence that we adduced shows that illegal immigration, frankly, any low-skilled immigration, tends to drive down the wages of jobs that are available for black Americans. One study, in addition to studies that we've reviewed from Dr. Borjas, an economist from the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta showed that for the increase in the undocumented worker population, there has been a $960 reduction in the wages of the average Georgian worker from between 2000 and 2007. Mr. Chairman, it's respectfully submitted that the massive influx of immigrants, both legal and illegal, has been demonstrably bad for the employment prospects of low-skilled Americans generally, black Americans particularly, especially black males, and continued failure to address this issue is not without profound and substantial cost.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.